guys want to know what's my general thoughts on Dungeons and Dragons on Among Thieves, well, I have to say I've really enjoyed the movie. I can't say I love it, love it, but I did have a good time, and I think it's going to be a fun movie and definitely a solid time at the cinema. But there's so much there that may not work for the most part, but there are some positives. There's more positives than negatives. So let's get into it. I will say Chris Pine as the main character. He's very charming, very likable, like he's always been. So he's not much to him as a character, but except he is a single father who has a daughter, a 14-year-old daughter, who's trying to resurrect his dead wife so him and his daughter can be a family again. And of course, he does admit that he is a bad father, that he's just been lying to his daughter, that even though deep down he does care, he does show that he does care about his daughter, even though he's the most important thing in his life. And of course, he has a friendship with Michelle Rodriguez, who we know as Letty from the Fast and the Furious franchise, which I will admit, she plays the same type of character, but it's Michelle Rodriguez, what you expect. But she does handle her own. She's a badass, she's witty, funny, but yet really powerful woman, not to mention she's beautiful. But understand, that to the side, Michelle Rodriguez, she's fun to watch. I can't really complain about her that much. Other cast, like Justin Smith, who is this young apprentice wizard type of guy, because he's a wizard for the most part. He's very likable for the most part. Justin Smith, I don't hate as an actor. He's fine. He's a fine actor. He did well. He didn't annoy me as much. He was fine. He was really good in Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and he's kind of annoying in the Jurassic World films, in the sequels, Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. I believe he's in Dominion. I know he's in Fallen Kingdom, but I don't know he was in... Let me know, is he in Dominion? Yes or no? I can't recall. I need to watch it again for the second time. Another cast girl, there's another girl, I can't remember the actress's name, who can shapeshifts into different types of animals and goes through, transforms into specific creatures, which is a really powerful spell. As for the villains, not much remember. Hugh Grant, I do like. He's a likable actor and he's very charming, but he's not much to him as a villain. He's kind of underused. I think it could have been more development to him, even though he does work with Chris Pine and all these bandits, thieves, and all these characters, but he's trying to be a villain, which we all knew it's going to happen. We've seen it from the trailers. This other villain who is this evil witch that she wants to find the relic for herself and also wants to take over the world and take over this fantasy kingdom, which for the most part she's fine, but there's not much to her, minus that she wants to take over the planet for the most part. As far as the Dungeons and Dragons lore goes, I'm not the biggest fan of Dungeons and Dragons. I wouldn't say I'm not familiar with it. I know it's based on a game, not a video game, but a board game from Hasbro, which I'm not familiar with it, but if you're a big fan of it, you'll probably find some stuff in there. But I would say there are some couple of things that I think, oh, okay, is that from the game? Is that from something I'm not aware of? Bradley Cooper appeared in the film, Michelle Rodriguez's character's ex-husband or ex-boyfriend, which when I more saw it, I thought, Bradley Cooper. As far as the visual designs on these mythical fantasy creatures, they're very, really weird, but they do embrace its weirdness, so it's not afraid to go full fantasy epic like The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, or any particular fantasy mythical weirdness into it, which I really liked. And of course, we have this big dragon lives in this volcano lava lair type of thing, which is kind of like a dragon from something out of How to Train Your Dragon, with the animated film, with that it's really huge but with small wings. It got this little horn and all that jazz. Kind of similar to that, but I don't know if that's the same thing I'm seeing. I've seen dragons that are different, like There's a Smaug from the Hobbit movie, which kind of scary for the most part. Even the dragons from Harry Potter was kind of cool. But this most part, I think the dragons and stuff are really entertaining. So I can't say it. It's funny, it's called Dungeons and Dragons, but there's only one dragon. There's not much dragons in there, if you know what I mean. There's not much to say about this movie. I think it's for what it is. I think it's a fun movie. There's not much development. The characters are just there for the most part. I think they're all charming, but it does have some cute, funny moments. There are some couple of humor may not work. For the most part, I did laugh for the joy of it. I did have a wee chuckle and a bit of a laugh. And there are some pretty fun action scenes that will keep you entertained for the most part. For that being said, I do think it's a pretty enjoyable fun movie. There's not much to it, but if you're going to this film, I would say have fun with this film. I think Dungeons and Dragons will entertain you. So I would say Dungeons and Dragons, for my rating, I'm going to give it, it's a good time. It's a good time. Let me know in the comments down below, guys. What do you think of Dungeons and Dragons? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you think it's alright? Or do you hate it? Whatever the case is, comment down below and tell me your thoughts. Stay tuned. I will review Guardians of the Galaxy, the first two, leading up to Guardians 3, which I'm really looking forward to talking about. So, see ya!